Are you tired of dealing with contractors that do not return your call? Are you tired of contractors that show up, never get that quote back to you? Are you tired of contractors that overrun what they initially said as far as their price because they don't provide a fixed price like Smith & Sons? This is the kind of stuff that I'm going to do to be able to impress clients at the highest level, ensure that we are profitable, and then out the back end, work hard the whole way through to get that video testimonial. Because I'm telling you, people today have their mind made up by 80% that they're going to buy. It's just a matter of who they're going to call and who they're going to actually entrust with the responsibility. How old are you going to be before you start to experience life like you want it? I want to tell you right now, whether you like it or not, there is a better way to do business. Hi everyone, welcome to the Business for Builders podcast. My name's Max. I'm your host. I'm the CEO here at Smith & Sons in Canada, and I'm also the founder of EliteBusinessAdvisory.com. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate you lending me your ear. If you're a long-time listener, thanks so much for continuing to tune in. If you're a first-timer, welcome. I trust you get some value. Be sure to get across to Business for Builders VIP on Facebook. That's a community where we want to focus on, a lot of guys and gals in the trade collaborating and just communicating with each other. I do obviously take a look over that, but I really encourage everyone to just chime in if you've got questions. And if you've got some expertise in some areas and you can add some value, absolutely, I would encourage it to do that. So if you want into that group, answer the questions. And if you're a good sort, I'll let you in. I'm still surprised how many guys and girls don't answer the questions. Please do that. We need to protect that group, and that's one way that I filter out those that are not serious about contribution. All right, that's a bit hot and heavy. Don't forget, like and subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, tick the bell. One of these drops every week. And our goal is to give back to the construction community. A guy like me that's been involved in it since June 1989. Some of you guys and girls might be nodding your head going, wasn't even born then. That makes me feel old. Cheers. But, there's just a lifetime of probably more mistakes than things that I've done terribly well. I think we have lots and lots of failure, which does help to build towards, some continued success, which is what we want. We want sustainability. And so, our goal with this show was just to continue to bring about some value. Right, steak and potatoes as usual. Today I'm going to drop 5 points, and this is certainly not exhaustive either, but I'm going to drop 5 insights as to that relates to more leads, more profit. And really, guys and gals, probably a couple of the larger challenges is that, Max, I don't have enough leads. Max, I'm not making enough money. And then closely followed behind by, Max, I can't find any good people to help me. And so, I think really as a business coach, which is what I do at Elite Business Advisory, if you're thinking about, hey, I need to really improve my position, maybe a quick 30-minute strategy session, conversation, I'll just dump as much good stuff, into your mind as I can about your business. And then maybe you'll consider, whether or not I can, maybe jump into your corner and help you develop the business. But ultimately, if we don't have any opportunity to speak to, i.e. leads, then we can checklist and quality assurance and recruitment, techniques and, et cetera, unless we have leads and opportunity to speak to, we are dead in the water. So, the only thing worse than that is to get lots and lots of leads and not having a pricing model where you're actually producing a profit, or your delivery method sucks. And so you're not able to sort of make money because you're blowing budgets all the time. That is a lot of the reasons why we're not making profit in our building companies. And so I'm going to quickly run through these. Some of these will be, maybe all of these will be like, yeah, Max, I know. To know and not to do is to not to know. So please just be mindful that even in the event that you probably know about a lot of what I'm going to talk about today, I want you to look in the mirror and really reflect what it is that you think you're doing. Maybe you could do it at a higher level. What education you're going to need to improve or to lean on so that you do understand these core components. And so these are just a few. It's not exhaustive, but it's a good place to start. Okay, builders looking to generate more leads and earn more profit should consider these 5 tips, right? So what we've got is leverage online presence and digital marketing. Now, for me, that pretty much goes to having a website and then having the ability to do your own or do content marketing. And so, for me as a builder, with obviously part of a franchise group here in Canada, Smith & Sons, part of our role, or part of the thing that we do well is digital marketing. And of course, our guys have got to do local area marketing because they're in their vicinity. But digital is something that if you can get it right, will serve you in perpetuity going forward. It'll be very much, I wouldn't say set and forget, that's borderline. Maybe as it relates to your website and SEO, search engine optimization, you've got to have a content-rich website that is very much up to date and does hold a lot of good quality information, because Google is not wanting to send people that are searching for something to a ad or to a website off the back of an ad that doesn't contain the appropriate information that the person who is searching is looking for. So again, everything that we do in the way of marketing, I believe these days, what we try to do a lot of is empathize with the end user. Who is our target market? What is it that they want? Find a need and fill it. You need to be a solution-orientated type builder, and understand what is the solution that I am providing. And I think we need to speak to that, because we know that the average homeowner, let's say if you're dealing in retail, residential, renovations or new homes, it's a highly emotionally charged decision because it's such a massive amount of money in most cases. And so what we find is that we really gear our ads and our education and our social media around peace of mind and security and certainty by way of a fixed price. And in that area, that gives us a fairly distinct advantage. And so, I think the digital marketing side of things, I was only saying to one of my elite business clients this morning, shout out to Matt in Calgary, I said to him that you need to become your own company's creative director. Too many times us builders go and engage an agency or a videographer or somebody that does creative, and we just go, oh, you know what to do, don't you? But I want to tell you right now, based on some of my most recent experience in the last 2 or 3 years, is that we need to be our own creative director, which means we have to go back thinking about what our target market is looking for, what are some of their fears, what are some of their problems that we're trying to address, and then really go deep in our education program. And so, part of the digital marketing side of things is that, we need to come up with messaging that's entertaining, that's educational, that's informative, and we need to put a lot of that sort of content. So if you're dealing with the videographer who manages your content, your communities, your Facebook and your Instagram, you need to educate them around. And this is part of you, the creative director for your building company. You need to educate them around, hey, this is what we do. We run a bunch of organic, and then we find out which resonates with the target market. We then pull that back in, and then we deploy that as a paid ad where we attach a call to action. So what I'm saying to you guys, I can't go deep and do a digital marketing expose or educational piece, but that is a nutshell. It's a 40,000 foot view, and you need to be able to have the black belt understanding as to what good digital marketing is all about. Now, I've just, forever and a day, another thing I talk to a lot of my clients about, my elite business clients, is that, we've got to have, that content-rich website. We've got to have good Google ads running with really good ads, strategic keywords, negative keywords as well. But there's a part of me that would leave that to, a third-party agency. Well, right now, as of today, prior to this recording, I was actually watching a couple of videos trying to educate myself around the specifics of good Google ad campaigns. Now, keep in mind too that Google does move the goalposts every, so often. And so there is a continuing education that's required. And so what I want to do I want to be my own Google Ads guy? No, I do not. What I do want to do is have a very, very good understanding as to what is happening in my Google Ads campaign that's being handled by a third party. So I need to be able to look at what's happening, look at the activity that's going on there, and make sure that I'm satisfied with it. Because, I know of one client who had a guy doing Google SEO or Google Ads, and apparently he's an agency dude. And I said, where's your negative keywords? Because he did a screen share with me, and I'm like, where's your negative keywords? So if you want to avoid clients that search for cheapest builder in my area, you don't want to be paying Google for that ad. You don't want to be paying Google for that search and for that person to click on your ad and then spend your money. And so, it's really important that we educate ourselves. And so for digital marketing as well, I've just downloaded Gary Vaynerchuk's Day Trading Attention. I've heard all kinds of stories about it, from different podcasts. And so I'm about to crack open that audio version on Audible, and I'm also I've got that in my cart on my Amazon account as well to get the hard copy. Interestingly, normally I just get the audio and I'm kind of done with it, but I really want a playbook for my creative team to where we can actually use it as a bit of a textbook, because Gary's been promoting it that way. And so I'm like, okay, for the first time, I'm actually going to order the audio and also order the hard copy version of that as well. So look, I'm really passionate about nailing down or demystifying or bringing you education, or at least bringing your awareness to the importance of you gaining the education. Because if you don't have opportunity up front and your top of funnel is not full, then, or at its capacity, then you're not going to have choice, which means that it's going to put pressure on you as to how you go about selling each and every project. So I would just, my thing about, leveraging online presence and digital marketing through Google SEO, and having, really good social media and good messaging within your content, is you've got to get a very good understanding and have that black belt understanding of how digital advertising works and a lot of the reasons why we do it. And so we're going to get onto a bunch of stuff here pretty shortly as well. Okay, so that's online and digital. Okay, second thing is to build and maintain strong relationships. I love to network. I would as soon go to the racetrack and talk a guy, go racing, sure, because that's what we do. But if there's a guy there who's got a good business head and he wants to talk business in between races, mate, I'd be all about it. Now, what I have here in our office here, it's around about 1,800 or so square feet. I had a buddy of mine that wanted to purchase a real estate franchise, and he just bumped me and said, hey, have you got any space in your office? And so what I did is I moved our original podcast location, which was through that wall, and I actually took it home first, and then we brought it back here. And what I liked about that, other than, subletting some of the office space, and we were able to, create some space, no problem. What I was able to do is really up the ante on networking. So, Steve is a realtor. Okay. Then what he did is he introduced into that office a mortgage broker. So now what we've got is we've got a realtor who might sell a house to someone that needs a reno, who then needs finance on that deal through the mortgage broker. And then the mortgage broker says, well, look, the prospective homeowners actually asked me, can we do a plus improvements addition to that finance? Well, to get a plus improvements finance, you need a builder to give you a fixed price quote to do the said work. And so what you've got here is a realtor, a mortgage broker, and a fixed price builder all under the one roof. And that is probably the best example that I can give you. And that's a really close to home because, I'm friends with Steve, and I've just met the mortgage broker, and, they're pretty keen on working this. It's a very synergistic relationship. And I'm telling you, when you get that working, the customer acquisition cost, really, your cost per lead is going to be zero. So Steve gets the house, it goes to the mortgage broker. The mortgage broker gives me a nudge and says, hey, this is looking like a pretty solid deal. These people have got, pretty good chance of finance. We just need that, we need that fixed price. And so, if I put that deal together and then all of those parts of that deal go through, my customer acquisition cost also was zero. And so, you hear me talk about the pre-construction agreement. The pre-construction agreement in that situation that I just outlined is a moot point because no one is going to pay me to do the work. However, when you look at what I'm not paying for, i.e. I'm not doing marketing, that lead just came to me. Me personally, I would be fairly willing to do what I can to help the mortgage broker. But in saying that, I may have an opportunity to speak with a homeowner and say, look, normally I charge, for a $250,000 reno, our pre-construction agreement is normally $2,500, but because you've come recommended through Steve, what I'm prepared to do is slash that to $1,000. Now, it probably won't compromise their purchasing the property. It just means that if the price to renovate is too much, they might not get the deal either. But that is an example of how I go about looking at networking, how I go about building and maintaining those strong relationships. Okay. Partner with local real estate agents or professionals who can refer clients, especially in that sort of situation. If you can build a network with also mortgage brokers. I know Pat, one of my clients in Sydney, he said to me that he did, after one of our meetings, one of our sessions, he did reach out to some realtors. So, that's really guerrilla marketing at its best and at its finest. And I think he wanted to catch up with him for a bit of a meal and a beer, because what we're talking about is, what can I do to help you? That's why if you were to reach out to me and book a 30-minute call, my whole goal is not to sell you on coaching services. What I'm trying to do is demonstrate value at the highest level. Tell me about your business. Tell me about some of the gaps, some of the struggles, some of the hardships. Tell me what you think you're doing right. Let's look at your business model. Let's look at your pricing models. What can I give you to take from me today, win, lose, or draw, as it relates to coaching? See, because that kind of approach is a very unselfish approach. It's one I feel good about, because I don't feel like I'm pushing you into a corner. I'm going to produce enough credibility that lets you make the decision on your own, on the merit of the opportunity and what you think I can bring to the table. So for me, I want to sit with a realtor and a mortgage broker and go, what can I do as a fixed price builder to help you close some deals? That is by far the greatest way to do sales, in my opinion, because it doesn't feel like sales. Anything else feels like I'm trying to, do the old bait and switch and close the deal and slam the door hard on it. And I absolutely cannot stand that. I get people ringing this office all the time trying to sell me shit. Oh, what have you got to be afraid of? And it's like, mate, I don't know you. Therefore, I don't trust you, because I'm starting to not like you. So send me an email and we'll see what happens. I'm telling you, that is old school, push you into the corner, close the deal, shut the door type marketing. And, I think we can achieve so much more if we start networking, because whenever a client is referred to me, that's a very warm lead, and it's definitely more likely there's less work for me to do to try and at least get that person in the right space. They're already being referred. If Steve vouches for me, that is a very warm lead, and I've just got to do what I do, and that'll really go a long way to helping me close a deal. The other thing you can do is set up a referral program with past clients. I was actually just chatting with another client this morning, and from my elite business clients, another builder in Calgary. Shout out to Matt again. He actually sent some text messages to past clients, just say, hey, look, I'm looking to expand the company is starting to grow, and we're looking for people that we can, serve at the highest level. And he reckons within 2 minutes he got one hit back for an extended deck, I think, and a bathroom renovation. So, customer acquisition cost, if he puts that deal together, is going to be virtually zero. And to get that lead, well, it didn't cost him anything because he already had the relationship. So, guys, I think when we go back to assuming the role of a creative director, like we outlined in point 1, I think across the board, creative, is the variable of success. Gary Vaynerchuk says that a lot. And so to sit there like Pat did in Sydney and go, hey, I'm just reaching out to realtors on a text message to let them know I want to network with them. Like, that cost you nothing except a little bit of effort and some creativity and some balls, I guess, if you're a guy. And so, I think as it relates to reaching out to past customers, it's exactly the same thing. What I liked about what Matt did is he didn't go, hey, can I put you in my referral program and can you get me leads? Like, it wasn't done like that. The tone was, who do you know that you've been my client? Who do you know who might need a builder like me to help renovate their home or what have you? And so it turned around where they're like, well, hang on, we would like to do a deck extension, and we'd also like to do a bathroom renovation as well as that deck. And so can you come and have a chat with us? And so that really is, hand-to-hand advertising, which really costs us nothing that anybody can do. So I think too often we get lazy, or we get paralyzed through analysis, and you've only got to watch 3 or 4 Google Ads videos, and all of a sudden you're sort of going, oh my gosh, it's pretty overwhelming. And that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, I need to just do this one step at a time. I need a bit of a breakdown so I can understand the whole schematic, if you like. And so, I think sometimes we've just got to think fairly simply in our approach, but also we have to initiate something, because if we do nothing, we'll get nothing. At least if we put something out there and we get a little bit creative, there's a chance that something might come back to us. Right. Point number 3, offer value-added services. Now, what I don't subscribe to, as I just alluded to before, was that we don't do quotes for free. I think sometimes, I think if the job is a $10,000 to $15,000 job, what I won't particularly do is probably talk to them, and this goes kind of against what my typical thing is, and we don't normally do these smaller jobs. But if you're out there doing these $5,000 to $10,000 jobs, what I will do is a free site consultation. I will produce a quick email outlining the basic scope of work, what's a high and low price range potentially, and how long it might take. And I will move from that first meeting, because it's such a smaller job, to a close pretty rapidly. Like, it doesn't have to be elongated. I can close, a $25,000 bathroom inside of a week. If I start that ball rolling Monday, there's no reason why I can't get a decision, at least for a pre-construction agreement. I can get a really good head nod, but on a smaller job like 10 grand, I can close that pretty quickly. So, I want to get out there, but then again, so what that is, that's cool, except that's easy for everyone to do. They can advertise, sure, free site consultation and free estimate. In our case, it'd be a high and low. It wouldn't be a quote as such, nothing that I would rely on. I would call that an opinion of probable cost. That's probably, that's a bit of a legal term. My opinion of probable cost is a good way to get you off the hook with any numbers that are quoted. I never, unless we've gone through the pre-construction agreement and we've gone through the selection process and we've really nailed down in a proposal, which will be anything upwards of 20 pages plus long, I will always mention that the option, my opinion of probable cost, to be able to produce that. So, I think that part of what we do is we offer that report. Like, I just went and spent time with a client. And just so you guys know, I'm about to launch into a partnership with a licensed builder in this town, and we are about to operate a building company. So I'm going to make a lot of reference to my experiences on the front line, that you guys, even if you've been able to maybe identify with me a little bit, probably in a month's time, we've already got 7 leads on the board. It's over $1 million worth of inquiry, and my responsibility in that company, working with my business partner, is to take that from the inquiry to contract, liaise with the builder in the estimation and the quoting phase, probably do the proposal at the back end with my builder business partner. And so what you're going to find is, what you're going to hear about is a lot of stories that I get to share now. And you can not listen to what I say essentially, because I'm out there doing it. So whatever I'm talking about, it's going to come off the back of me actually putting it together. And so, with complimentary initial consultations, I did that this week. The guy had a basement renovation. I told him on the spot, I said, mate, based on my historical data and my experience, this is about $80,000 to $120,000. There were some issues with sewer pipe backing up, which meant we had to cut concrete out to really figure out what's going on firstly, and then be able to reinstate pipe work, re-pour slabs, et cetera, I said, mate, it's such an unknown quantity, $80,000 to $120,000, and basically 1% of that forecast build value of around $100,000. It's going to take about $1,000 for you and I to work together on a selection sheet, me to farm out all the information. And then what I did is I sent him a 2.5-page report based on our initial site inspection. And so that's something that I've just decided to do recently, now that I've got back in the game, because what I did is I presented him with 2.5 pages of data, outlining also the estimated or the opinion of probable cost, as well as what I required as far as the pre-construction agreement was concerned, as well as a bunch of next steps after that. And so, look, if that's something, just side note, if that's something that interests you, shoot me an email at max@elitebusinessadvisory.com, and I might just send you back a bit of a generic example of what that report looks like if you think that might help you. So the idea with that is, because what I did is I exposed the scope of work, outlined what I was going to be responsible for supplying, install, some notes to reflect things that weren't included, like demo debris disposal, because the client had already done the demo. And then down the bottom, we alluded to what the high and low price range was, the opinion of probable cost, and then, of course, we outlined the responsibilities around the pre-construction agreement and then next steps. So if you want a bit of a look at that to help understand what I'm banging on about there, then shoot me an email. But, part of then what we do as far as offer, value-added services is that pre-construction agreement. Now, some guys go into that whole thing, and I've talked about this, is with fear and trepidation. I understand why, because you've never been trained to do it and you're not used to doing it. So the pre-construction agreement is something that helps you qualify, but also we would like to think it will inject $10,000 to $20,000 worth of gross revenue into your economy, which you're going to go and do the quotes anyway. Why are we not doing the quotes for actually the right people? And so this is a really good way. So it's, it's Tuesday. I did that meeting with him on Thursday. And here's the thing too, guys and gals, speed. I got the phone call inquiry on Wednesday. I had called him back that afternoon, on the Wednesday afternoon, to book a meeting for 10:30 on the Thursday. By close of business, I had that report to him. He's now had that for 3 or 4 days and hasn't even acknowledged my email. Guys and gals, these people will drag you around and make you do quotes, and then they still will ignore you. Because he didn't say to me that he didn't like my estimate of 80 to 120 or my pre-construction agreement or my $1,000. He just didn't say anything. So if it offended him because he expected me to work for free, then he can go kick rocks. And I'm sorry, but my architect, if a client goes to my architect before they get to me and get plans drawn up, whether that client builds that home or not, that architect is getting paid. So why do we allow homeowners, investors, et cetera, leverage on us because, that's what all general contractors do? Guys, the only way you can overcome that is by demonstrating the reasons and the value as to why we ask for a very nominal fee to cover our time to put together. Now, if you're not doing fixed price and you're doing cost plus, it's all probably a moot point. Do what you do. But for us guys in the fixed price world, then this is what we need to do. And this is why our business models, I would say, make more gross profit than those that are running in the cost plus world. I need to get moving. Okay, so be sure that you are demonstrating the value if you are going to promote the pre-construction agreement, because guys and gals, your knowledge and experience is worth something. All right, enhance online reviews and testimonials. Guys, you know how I feel about this. You go to smithandsons.ca. It's going to have a half a dozen or more video testimonials from clients. I've had clients tell me on the phone that we considered working with Smith & Sons and we watched every single one of those videos and we want that experience. That does a lot of the heavy lifting. A lot of the time, I'd say a lot of the time, the majority of the time, a lot of clients are sort of saying, hey, I don't want to do the camera thing. I've got 2 cameras running here. But I will do a Google review, and they do a written review and a 5-star. And so, we actually have a gift that clients don't know is coming, but we have a gift basket. It's normally a wine bucket with some Bottega in it and some, what are those chocolates? Damn it. Ferrero Rochers. Yes, I don't eat them anymore because I'm trying to shed some pounds. And so we like with a thank you card in there, and it's very well presented. And so when we walk up to the door for that interview, we actually give them first, and then we have a look at the lounge room or where the job was done, and we make sure we can set up the stage, if you like, and then we bring the gear in and we get to work. So, if anyone says, look, Max, we don't really want to do a video review, but we'd love to give you a recommendation on Google, then, a lot of the time we will probably send them a small gift in maybe in a gift card format, that sort of thing as well. So you got to understand, guys and girls, those types of things, even though I think sometimes the fact that there's some unwarranted messaging that goes onto some of these platforms in written format, even though it is irritating, I guess the only what you can do is, in the event you can't mitigate that, if it's an unfair review of your business, you can just put more 5 stars in there and water that garbage down. That's what I would say. Because I've had arguments with builders about, well, I can't get rid of that, and it wasn't fair, and they said some things that weren't accurate, all that sort of stuff. Respond professionally, and then start back and, banking another 5 stars. And this is where you as an operator, if you're an above the line thinker, you'll think just like I'm thinking. It's like, right, we got some 1-star reviews. It is what it is. Nobody's perfect. Does anybody suspect a company of having 20 5-star reviews as being a little inauthentic? Probably. Okay. So what you've got to think about is like, even if you've got a 4.7 or 4.8, but we've got 30 odd, posts, there's only a small percentage of 1 star. Okay. So what I would say is to be an above the line thinker is it says, right, it just makes me more hungry to deliver more top shelf services to more clients so that I can improve that rating, if you like. And what you do control is ultimately the videos on your website. So absolutely double down and think about the power of that, because the Google reviews will get trumped by the videos on your webpage. And they are not rent-a-crowd. They are real humans, real paying clients. And we enjoyed working for those guys and gals. So they do a lot of the heavy lifting. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. None of my Elite Business Advisory clients, and I have 10 in 5 countries right now, none of those guys were ever sold anything by me. They reached out to me. You know why? Because they listen to this podcast. Hello, everyone, all of the Elite Business Advisory family. They reached out to me and wanted to have a chat. And that's where it starts. And so when I talk about your company and you as the builder know, like, and trust, how do the homeowners get to know you before they call you? And so I've said to my creative team, now that I'm going to go neck deep in a building company with a business partner there, I'm going to own this town. I'm going to be the builder. It's my face. I'm going to be talking directly to homeowners. Are you tired of dealing with contractors that do not return your call? Are you tired of contractors that show up, never get that quote back to you? Are you tired of contractors that overrun what they initially said as far as their price because they don't provide a fixed price like Smith & Sons? This is the kind of stuff that I'm going to do to be able to impress clients at the highest level, ensure that we are profitable, and then out the back end, work hard the whole way through to get that video testimonial. Because I'm telling you, people today have their mind made up by 80% that they're going to buy. It's just a matter of who they're going to call and who they're going to actually entrust with the responsibility. Okay, last thing, implement effective project management and cost control. More leads, more profit. This is all about more profit, guys and gals. $10,000 per job per month. That's kind of that's where I want to be at minimum, right? You really should work out what the cost to run your business is per day. And then you can start looking at the profit that's built into that job, which you've got to pay said cost per day, and then think about how many days it's going to take you to fulfill that delivery and work out whether your pricing model is actually on point or not. Because the minute you start thinking about that and all of a sudden you run those numbers, you can't unsee that shit. Okay? So please be honest with yourself, okay? Do not generalize, okay? The magic is in the metrics, okay, and the specifics of those said metrics, because they will tell you a story. If you talk to any of my builders in Smith & Sons, you talk to any of my Elite Business Advisory clients, they will tell you they get tired of me talking about activity key metrics. I need to know what's happening in the business today. It's funny, when I was setting up, because I set up the same infrastructure for my own building company that I do for all of my Elite Business Advisory clients and all of my Smith & Sons guys. The first thing I did was my activity key metrics. And I'm like, right, we've had $1.2 million worth of leads this month. Right, how many contracts do I expect to sign in the next 90 days? And I'm like, well, as a percentage of the leads that I've had in May, i.e. 1.2 million, I would expect I will close about 20%. That's about 240,000. So how long will it take me to get to those deals? Probably 90 days. So what do I need to do in the month of June? And we're recording this in the latter part of May. In June, I've got to get myself back to that. Because if I want to do $3 million for this year, that's about 250 grand's worth of contracts I've got to write every month. Guys and gals, it's math. It's just simple math. It's management of the metrics in your business system, okay? And then, of course, it comes down to, once I hand that off to the builder, our project file, then what I'm going to be watching in the background is very much what's our delivery like. Where are we getting bottlenecks? Where are we having cost overruns? So we're going to be tracking the costs extremely tightly. So you can imagine if you were my business partner, particularly a guy that is a builder who doesn't really want anything to do with the office, and that's why there's a lot of synergy in this business relationship that I'm in the process of establishing. If you had me as a business partner, I'll be walking around that site once a week and I'll be watching the numbers and how the bills are coming in, and I'll be monitoring the performance, because I'm telling you, this is why I say to you, don't just listen to what I say, watch what I do. You know, feel free to email me if I'm talking about something and go, hey, you said this, what about that? You know, I don't just, whatever you want to ask me, you can go ahead and ask me. So we want to be using project management software. I know guys that don't do that. Matter of fact, the guy, my business partner, he was one of those guys that didn't have a job management, didn't have a Builder Trend or a Contractor Foreman or a Build Exact or a Wonder Build, like had nothing, which is kind of scary. And then the other side, you know, as far as cost controlling, guys and gals, when it comes to subcontractors and suppliers and clients, because on one hand, you're paying out subcontractors and suppliers, on the other hand, you're getting payment from clients. What I urge people to do is to have very short accounts with clients, because they will always delay. They always will take their merry time to pay you. So it's like due upon receipt. And then on the flip side, I need to make sure that my subcontractors know that if you invoice on the 15th, you'll get paid on the 30th. And if you invoice by the 30th, you'll get paid on the 15th. I stay in control of my outgoings. Thanks very much. The tail does not wag the dog. Now, suppliers, for the most part, will get a statement at the end of the month. That's due 30 days after that. Plenty of time. So you have a cash gap plan. I've just outlined shorter payment times with clients, and we have organized payment terms for subcontractors, and then we have our 30-day rotation for our suppliers. Reduce the cash gap, okay, and your life will be better. Right, guys, so by focusing on the strategies that I've just outlined, you can attract more leads and you can improve your job's profitability and your overall company's profitability by the end of each financial year. And hopefully you're growing the business and staying in control. Guys and girls, thanks for chiming in. Don't forget, like and subscribe, tick the bell. Check out Business for Builders VIP and go take a look at elitebusinessadvisory.com, and then maybe book a consultation with me and let's have a chat about what I can do for you as far as some customized coaching for contractors. Go build a kick-ass business. See you in the next episode. Cheers.